Ross take a shot at you a couple weeks ago about a girl that you're not even with no more. And then, what is it with you and Ross that's just been going on for so long?
I spend it to you, right? Nothing else works for him outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention me, it gets covered further. You see TMZ is a 50 Cent said this is gonna be bad for Irv Gotti's career. I get covered across the board. They get covered on the hip hop blogs. It is what it is. And you watch because I have nothing else to say. You'll just see it happen periodically as it goes.
Rick Ross ain't playing around when it comes to disrespect. The boss just snapped back at 50 Cent and Gillie after they tried to clown him, calling him broke. You already know, when Rick's name gets tossed in the drama, things are about to heat up fast. This beef? It's ancient, but somehow it keeps crawling back into the spotlight like it never left. We're talking about a saga that's been brewing for over a decade. And this right here is just another wild chapter in the never-ending Rick Ross versus 50 Cent feud. It all kicked off way back in 2008. Ross claimed that 50 gave him a dirty look at the BET Awards. And just like that, the whole thing exploded. That one little stare set off years of back-and-forth chaos that refuses to fade out. By early 2009, Ross came out swinging with his diss track Mafia music, and he didn't hold back. He went straight for 50's personal life. But 50, he wasn't staying quiet. He fired right back with Officer Ricky, Go Ahead, Try Me, where he straight up mocked Ross's past job as a correctional officer and took shots at his weight. It was personal, messy, and loud. But 50 didn't stop at music. He started trolling Ross heavy, turning it into a full-blown internet circus. He even made up a whole comedy character called Pimpin' Curly, dropping a wild video in February 2009 called Psychic. It was crazy. He turned the beef into entertainment, throwing punches online and in the booth. This beef got real dirty when 50 Cent crossed a major line.
Just seen a clip of the Wallow show where he was interviewing 50 Cent and the other little dude asked him a question, small talk. But ultimately, the question that should have been asked was, you jumped out there during the beef, the West Coast versus the Canadian, and I thought Dr. Dre put you on. I thought Dr. Dre was the set. I thought you was loyal to Dr. Dre. You mean you went with the Canadian over Dr.
He pulled up DJ Khaled's mom's job and even filmed outside her house. Yeah, he really did that. That move took the drama to a whole new level, showing just how far 50 was willing to go. But it didn't stop there. 50 got a hold of a private tape featuring Rick Ross's ex, Latonia Leviston, Ross's baby mama, and did his own wild commentary over the whole thing. That stunt blew up in his face big time. In 2010, Latonia slapped him with a lawsuit for leaking the footage without her permission, and she wasn't playing. By the summer of 2015, a judge hit 50 with a $5 million fine for damages and another $2 million in penalties. That's a $7 million L for crossing the line. But even with all that heat, the beef just wouldn't cool off. Back in 2013, 50 clowned Ross on Twitter after he crashed his Rolls Royce while trying to dodge gunshots. Yeah, 50 really went there. Over the years, both of them have kept tossing shade on social media, in interviews, and anywhere they could stir up some heat. Then in 2020, when fans hoped for a versus battle, Ross shut that down real quick. He questioned if 50 was even still relevant, brushing off the idea like it was a joke. And now, the fire's back again. 50 just mocked the first week numbers for Ross and Meek Mill's joint album Too Good to Be True, which only sold 31,000 copies. But Ross wasn't fazed. He said both of them are still getting paid no matter what the charts say. The latest fire between 50 Cent and Rick Ross got lit when 50 pulled up on the $1 million worth of Game podcast with Gillie and Wallow. Gillie didn't waste any time. He brought up how Ross had been sneak dissing lately, especially throwing shade by name-dropping 50's ex, and he didn't hold back, not even a little. He said Ross only talks about him when he's down bad and needs attention. Straight up, 50 said, "Nothing else works for him. When things get bad, you mention me. It gets covered for you." Oof. Ross clapped back by throwing dirt on 50's recent land buy in Shreveport, Louisiana, basically implying that 50 only copped it because it was cheap. Ross didn't stop there, though. He offered 50 the chance to come shoot a project on his property just to flex on him. Ross even let it be known that he's got an extra 100 acres behind his land. Big flex. And if that wasn't enough, Ross made sure to remind everybody about the success of his car show, saying he had a wild crowd of 15,000 people pull up to his estate. Man's out here counting numbers and throwing shots. This new round of back and forth is showing one thing loud and clear. These two are not backing down. It's now a full-blown flex war, with each one trying to outshine the other on money, land, and power. It's obvious. Rick Ross and Cent are going to keep using every bit of spotlight to take shots at each other for as long as this feud drags on. But this time, Ross tried to drag Gillie into the mix just for being the podcast host. And Gillie wasn't having none of that. Gillie wasted no time hitting back on Instagram. He posted, "What did I do? Your beef is not with me, black man." That response hit different. He kept it short, real, and respectful. But let's be honest, it was kind of out of pocket for Ross to even mention him in the first place. Gillie didn't stir the pot, didn't co-sign anything. He just laughed, hard. But that's a whole different thing, right? And let's face it, when 50 Cent starts roasting people, it's hard not to laugh. That's just how Fee operates. He trolls his enemies in a way that makes the whole internet crack up. Fans online seem to agree. Most think 50 came out on top in this round. The comment sections were lit, and one user even echoed what 50 said during the interview, saying, "I get covered across the board," and they called it straight facts. People are sounding off online, and hip-hop blogs are all over it. One commenter even said 50 gave Rick Ross a straight-up schooling during that interview. Like, if Ross wasn't listening, that's on him. Folks are calling it $1 million worth of game, no joke. This beef between 50 Cent and Rick Ross, it's got history, heat, and it's still going strong. And here's exactly why it refuses to die down. First off, both of these dudes got massive egos, huge, and backing down, that ain't even in their vocabulary. In their world, squashing the beef would look like weakness, and neither of them's trying to take that L. Instead, they keep trading shots because, truth be told, it keeps them buzzing. Let's be real, it's almost like a business move at this point. Every jab they throw, every shade they cast, it gets picked up by blogs, fans, and headlines. Boom, they're trending again. This feud keeps them relevant without even dropping music. But this drama goes way deeper than songs. It got super personal. The disrespect hit hard and cut deep. And with all that legal mess, especially that whole tape situation, it didn't just hurt Ross emotionally, it smacked 50's bank account hard. That added a whole new layer of pressure and bad blood. Both 50 Cent and Rick Ross love to downplay each other's wins. And in this Instagram era, all it takes is one slick post or shady comment to fire things back up. Their fans? They eat it up and keep hyping it, throwing gas on the flame every time. This feud has officially become part of their brands now, and let's not lie, long-running beefs are straight up embedded in hip-hop culture. Even though it feels like this drama will never end, there are a few ways it could cool off. Industry legends like Dr. Dre, who's already tried to play peacemaker in the past, might step in again. If anyone could calm the storm, it's someone with that kind of pull. And let's not forget, both 50 and Ross are moving into new lanes outside of rap. With all the business plays, investments, and brand building, they might start seeing this beef as a distraction more than a benefit. When the money gets serious, the drama sometimes gets left behind. They might even just outgrow the pettiness over time. Age and success have a funny way of shifting priorities. Or, who knows, maybe one day they'll surprise the whole world and link up for a major move that forces them to call a truce. It sounds wild, but in this industry, anything's possible. But until that happens, one thing's for sure. This beef runs deep. It's built on personal digs, clout chasing, and that constant battle for dominance in the culture. And it ain't just Ross. 50 Cent lives for this kind of chaos. He's always online throwing shade, keeping his name hot by roasting other celebs like it's a sport. People are starting to catch on. It's crystal clear now. 50 Cent uses these feuds as a strategy to keep his name buzzing in hip-hop and pop culture. And this ain't his first rodeo either. He's been in all kinds of mess before. going at it with big names like Ja Rule, Kanye West, and even Madonna. Yeah, Madonna. His go-to move? Roast people over their L's. Whether it's a flopped album, personal drama, or some cringy moment caught in public, he sees the weak spot and goes straight for it. It's brutal, but it keeps people talking. This tactic keeps 50 locked into the headlines, always trending, always in the mix. But fans are divided. Some love how savage and funny he is. They say he's just keeping it real. Others? They think he's dragging it too far, acting petty, and doing the most for attention. On one hand, this approach keeps him relevant in a game that moves fast and forgets even faster. But on the other, it might be burning bridges. Both with artists he could have worked with and fans who don't mess with his antics anymore. And when it comes to the Ross beef, there's no sign of it slowing down. Both of them made it real clear, they ain't looking to squash nothing. In a competitive world like hip-hop, that just adds fuel to the fire. The more tension, the more buzz. At the end of the day, 50 Cent knows exactly how to keep the world talking. Whether he's dropping music, running the TV game, or lighting up the next headline with another wild feud, he stays in control of the spotlight. And this back and forth with Rick Ross? Just another chapter in his long history of high-profile beefs, and neither one of them looks ready to tap out. As long as 50 keeps flipping drama into relevance, you already know. More shots are coming, more shade will be thrown, and the internet's gonna keep eating it up. This feud has been simmering for years with no chill in sight. So if you're a fan of the madness, better buckle up, because it ain't slowing down anytime soon. So what do you think about 50 Cent's latest comments on Rick Ross? Is he keeping it real, or just stirring the pot for clicks? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear everything. And don't forget, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your crew, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss a single update. This saga is just getting spicier, and we're bringing all the tea.